Welcome to Kiki and Kibit's Love After Lockup edition. My name is Brianna and I'm here with Mary. And surprise, surprise, surprise. Look who we have on our show today. It is John and Crystall coming to us live from Iowa. We didn't even know that they were coming on our show. There we go. How
Surprise!
Welcome. Even the dogs are even responding.
Yeah, the dogs like it.
So who's this lovely lady you have next to you? Tell the nice people, will you?
Yes, all two of them. This is Crystall. She is my current girlfriend after the explosion that happened as of late.
That happened months ago, but yeah.
That's close enough as of late. It happened.
I agree. Yeah. So you guys have been seeing each other, and Kristianna is not in your life anymore. Is that
I
right?
will let Crystall tell you how we met, and then
she had another question.
I'll answer that one after you tell them how we met. You're better at that story than me.
She's gonna ask us that.
I don't care if she asks.
Whatever.
Okay,
whatever.
Crystall, how did you guys meet?
Wait a minute. No, I want to know what happened to Kristianna. How was there a void in your life?
Okay, all right.
That's like the prequel, and then we can get into the story.
Okay,
yeah.
We'll do the prequel. Let's see. My son was moving out in what was that, January?
December,
beginning of January, I think. My son was moving out, and we had this plan to go and help him move. Well, a few days before that, Kristianna had gotten high and stayed out all night with some people that she didn't know. And she comes home and we're talking and she's still fucked up. And I probably shouldn't have said that, but that's okay. I don't even care anymore.
No, that's fine. I was clearing my throat with the mute button. I wasn't horrified. Keep fucking going.
Yeah, it's fine. And she lets me know that a year ago she had cheated on me. And I'm like, well, I already knew that. I've known for a year, which I did. Because I'm, I have a brain bigger than a peanut. So I already knew what was up because I knew her routine better than she did. And so anyway, fast forward a few days or whatever it was, we were going to help my son move. And we had this plan for a couple months. And she's like, well, I'm going to go with my friend Eric to meet my cousin. Okay. We had this plan. And she ended up doing that. And I'm like, fine, whatever, go. I don't care. And while I was helping my son move, she had called me. And, I'm like, what is your deal? Do you even want this anymore? She goes, well, my dad really doesn't want us together. And I'm like, okay, you're 30 something. And that's the deciding factor. So I finally let her have it. I'm like, look, all you want to do is go out with your friends and these people you meet on Facebook and you think you're Angelina Jolie and all these different things. And I'm like, fine, whatever. If you don't want this, why don't you just go stay at your dad's? I'll pack up all your stuff and I'll take it wherever you want. So that's exactly what I did. And I haven't seen her since.
I have a quick question. This is sort of more like high level. I've been starting to get this feeling that whatever age someone is when they go into prison, they come out at that same emotional age. Do you think I am on the right track with this? Because I feel like we keep seeing this.
Yeah, working in mental health as long as I have been. When you have a traumatic experience, your brain usually stops developing at that age. And she's been in and out since, I don't know, however many freaking years. So yeah, you're definitely not on the wrong track. More research would need to be done, I think. Yeah. And I don't think there's enough research on the traumatic experiences that one has when they do prison. And I've done 12 years myself. So, wow. I get it. Yes, 12.
Wow.
I have it. I'm a good girl.
Whatever.
Whatever. No judgment. I'm not gonna judge you.
No.
So now tell the story of how you met. We're just here to get information. We're just all ears.
Go ahead.
He was doing this Facebook Live because he was dying. Like you saw earlier, he had the cold. And he was dying.
Yeah.
Shut up. And so he was on telling all his fans goodbye. And so I offered to bring him food. And because we live, well, at the time we lived an hour apart, and I offered to bring him food, and he's like, hey, message me. And I did. And then he called me, and we just started talking from there and totally clicked. And he asked me out on a date. And he's like, this is out of my comfort zone. Like, would you like go on out on a date? And I'm like, yeah, I'm turning 40. I'm just going to embrace life. Let's do this. Not thinking anything of it. I'm like, maybe I'll get a friend out of this. And man, we've been like inseparable ever since that conversation.
Wait a minute. So were you a fan of the show?
I was.
Yep.
So you'd
I had
seen the show. You've seen him on the show.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking with you, John.
Last fall. I haven't watched it from the beginning. So yeah, I started watching it last fall.
And then she watched the explosion that Kristianna did on Facebook.
Okay, so because I was so close to them, I added them both on Facebook, and they accepted my request. And so in January, I watched her explosion. She left and all this stuff. I mean, the whole thing has been all over the internet, and I'm like, holy crap, so I knew they weren't together, but I didn't even expect anything commenting on his thing. Like, he's like, hey, give me a call, or message me. And so, yeah, but I mean, we both went into this where I'm like, I'm not a homewrecker. Is this done? And he's like, yeah, it's done. And he's like, you don't have a secret relationship out there. I'm like, no, I pretty much hate men at this point. So no, I don't. So yeah.
She still does.
I like
so
you.
romantic.
Let's drop that.
That's funny.
You say no.
They can't
So
see you.
John, you're like out of frame. Come closer to that.
Yes,
lovely
come
lady
closer.
sitting next to
There we
you.
go.
Yeah. So you've been pretty open with your relationship. What kind of feedback are you getting from the world at large?
Mostly positive. A lot of people say they like Crystall more than Kristianna.
A lot of people say they like me more than you.
That's true.
Yeah, they do.
That's
Why
It's kind
do
of
you-
bullshit.
Why do you think that is, Crystall? You do seem very nice. John seems very pleasant too. I don't know you, John.
It happens.
I guess I'm real. I don't like drama, so I don't deal with crap, but I'm just real, and I like to have fun, and I'm not going to be fake. So what you see is what you get. And
yeah,
I don't know, maybe they like that.
I feel like John's not fake. Are you fake, John?
No.
Like,
No.
you don't seem like one of these reality TV people who, when you Google them, it says actor in their bio. Like, I get the feeling you're not an actor.
No, not at all.
And I even told my producers at one point when I was thinking about leaving the show, I'm like, I'm just a hardworking guy that was on a TV show. I'm not a reality TV star that has a part-time job.
Right.
I kept my full-time job all the way through the filming.
Got it. Yeah, we heard they don't pay too well.
Oh, they pay decent.
But
Do they? That's good.
But it's not really worth it though.
It's not worth it.
And why is that?
A lot of drama. They make you relive things you don't want to relive. They make you talk about shit you don't want to talk about. And then they put it out there for everyone to see, which, I mean, most people
twist a lot of it.
They do. They're very good at editing. But the stuff that happened, at least with me and Kristianna, 99% was accurate. I did not cheat with Kristianna's sister. That was not something that actually happened. I told her no, and that was it.
That's what we saw on the show, though. Exactly that. Like, is everything okay? What is that in the corner? What is that behind your head, Crystall? Is that like a blow-up doll?
No,
What is
no,
that?
it's a mannequin. It's a mannequin.
Tell them the story about how you got the mannequin.
So he has two mannequins in his house dressed as Freddy and Jason. He likes horror. I like true crime, like big murder person, like not a murderer. I love murder stuff. So anyways, he moved. So as he's moving, he's on video call with me. I'm like, you have body parts. I want body parts for I have an office. That's my murder room. And he's like, what the hell do you want body parts for? I'm like, well, you're the one that, he's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, what's wrong with you? You have them. So he gave them to me, and it's mannequin.
Wow.
So you're going to see it. I won't let my Facebook people see it, but I have him dressed, and it'll be a reveal later of who it's going to be, because he's going to get a mask. And then we're going to put the mask on him and drive him in my car around where we live and be like, where is so-and-so in Charles? Or yeah, where I live. Who gives a crap?
I do.
Charleston, I guess.
Yeah.
You guys are perfect for each other. I just feel that strongly.
I know they're like made for each other, right? Brianna?
Seriously, you are
Right.
made for each other.
So I
mean,
posts
he
that
has
kind of
body
fit this
parts for
person.
her mannequin. I mean,
I
come
know,
on.
because it's gonna be like this. He's gonna be my favorite serial killer, is what he's gonna be, and we're gonna play Where Is He in the town we live in. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
That's I have no words.
Yeah, me either.
Okay, John, I want to ask you a question. So,
All right.
are you Native American?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not like a spiritual system that you kind of adopted. This is part of your heritage.
Hold on here. Hold on.
I'm sure people ask you this a lot. You're a card carrying member. Is that what that says?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know you have to have an ID for that, but I guess so. So were you
yeah.
born on a reservation?
No, I was actually born in California and then adopted right after I was born. So.
Oh, okay. You were adopted into a Native American family?
No,
No,
I was
you're Native American.
adopted into a white family.
That makes a lot of sense, because when you met your sister on the show, you were kind of doing that together for the first time, right? So
Yeah.
you're embracing a heritage that you weren't raised in.
Correct.
That's pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
she had called me up and she asked me if I would do a naming ceremony for my nieces and nephew, and I'm like, sure, all right, we can do that. And then next thing you know, they show up, and I mean, it was good. I hadn't seen her since they were taken away by DHS back 20 some years ago or whatever it was.
That's wild.
Oh yeah.
It looks pretty emotional. That was probably one of my favorite scenes that
I said I
saw you
wasn't
in.
gonna cry.
You're a
I
sap.
lied. I lied.
Yeah.
I cried a lot.
Yeah, that was beautiful, actually.
It was.
Are you
it was
gonna
good.
grow your hair back?
Yeah.
I'm just like
yeah.
spewing random questions. We didn't have time to think of this. Is
actually,
that
a lot of
okay?
people ask him that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't get it cut unless someone close to me dies. So.
Uh-oh. Okay, I want you to have really long hair.
Yes.
Me too.
I love your
too.
long hair. I do. I'm all in favor.
In fact, last night we were at a ceremony over at Carrie's. We went for Sweat Lodge last night, and I actually burned the hair from the ceremony that we did on the show. And the pipe that I got married to Kristianna with, we did ceremony for that, and we did an untying of the hands. So I am no longer connected to Kristianna through the pipe. So that part is done and over, and I can commit myself fully to other relationships as I see fit. Which I wasn't.
Are you divorced? Are you divorced
No.
legally in the US?
No.
Not yet.
No.
Pardon me. I have to like plug my Mac in more. Mary, ask him a question. My computer's gonna.
She's not coming back.
No, she's coming back. Trust me, she's coming back.
Is it
Oh.
charging? I hope it's
It's
charging. Oh my
charging.
God. My computer was just like, you have 2% less battery. And then if this goes wrong, it all goes wrong. Damn it.
No,
It
no, no,
starts
no.
and ends with me
Damn
right
it,
here. It's so
no.
much fucking pressure.
Are you charging?
I think yes. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Jesus. If I drop off, just keep going. Just
Right,
don't stop,
exactly,
and I'll change
exactly.
computers.
Exactly. The show must go on.
The show must
Never
go
stop.
on.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Mary,
All
do you
right,
have a
so
question for these
what the heck
people?
were we? No, you distracted me now. What the heck were we?
That's
She
the
asked
part where you asked a
question.
question. That was the part. I have tons of questions.
So keep going. I'll think of one. Keep going.
Okay. What was it like, John, when you watched yourself on screen through this whole experience? Like, how surreal is that watching your own life play out on TV?
It was crazy. And I have watched, of course I've watched the show. I've watched it also since the beginning. So I watched everybody explode in their own way. In fact, when this whole thing started, and I was talking to Kristianna on the phone, we were sitting there like, this could be interesting, but we don't have any drama, so we're not gonna be very good. And, you're right, we're gonna suck, but we'll try it. Because I was watching the show one night and I was talking to her and I'm like, you know what, just for fun, as a goof, I'm gonna send these fuckers an email, right? I'm gonna tell them the story. It wasn't 7 o'clock the next morning, them fuckers were on the phone with me saying, hey, we want to talk, can you hop on a Zoom? I'm like, sure, why not? So I did, and then here we are.
Wow. And are you going to be doing any subsequent seasons, or do you know yet?
I don't know at this point, because of course I don't know where Kristianna is or what she's doing or if she's even been in contact.
Oh, good point. Yeah. Right, exactly.
I have talked to the show. I talked to them, I don't know, it's probably been 2-3 weeks ago. No, maybe even more than that. Because originally they had renewed me and Kristianna for another season, back in whatever it was, December. And or maybe it was very early January. And we're like, yeah, okay, we'll give you another season. That's fine. Because they left the last season off with some bullshit. And they have a bunch of footage after that, just and I'm like, yeah, we can do one. And then she left, after I found out about the infidelity and all that. And the show kept saying, well, we're leaving it open because I think we still want to film with you. And then after I met Crystall, we were together, I don't know, a few weeks or whatever. And I ended up calling up my producer and I said, look, man, it's either we're going to film or not, because I'm not going to sit here and be in hiding for 6 or 8 months and not be able to do the things I want to go do, waiting for you to make a decision. So finally they just said, well, go do what you want to do. And I'm like, cool.
In other words, so you would have to pretend you were still with Kristianna while people watched the drama play out.
No,
basically.
I would just have to not say anything to anybody about anything.
We wouldn't be able to be like in public.
Right.
That's
yeah,
exactly.
And I just didn't want to do that. And to tell you the truth, the show wasn't that important to me. It was just something I did. So
what about you, Crystall? How did you feel about, first of all, watching him with another woman, and second of all, about being on the show, not being on the show? What are your thoughts about this? Bless you, John.
We all have a past, and honestly, if it wasn't for the show, we probably wouldn't have met. I don't know if I could ever be on the show. I guess I'm very private with certain things in my life, and I also, just with how reality TV, which I'm a very big fan, that is a loss for that back there. That is what we're hearing. And so I don't think I could ever have things twisted. I guess I'm very confident in myself, but then you have everyone seeing all these lies, and I wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
No. And I mean, we've talked about, if they called just giving some closure to the thing because of the way they left it off. And then we've talked about not doing that and just not really giving a shit. So, I mean, they'd have to do something, pretty special or something very brief in order to, because if they found Kristianna at some point and said, hey, we want to film what you're doing, I mean, they couldn't really just film with her. They would have to track me down to put closure to the thing.
Right.
I mean, I've watched this show. I know how they operate.
Or they could do like the 10-minute after part where people come on and say what they're doing.
Yeah, the life goes on.
And that's what I told him, because going into it as a fan, I think they need that closure. And we do live videos. We try and like, we watch the show every week and try and talk to people about it, you know, things like that. And like, nobody seems to know, you know, no matter what's thrown out there on the internet, no one seems to know. So I think that would be a good idea, to do some kind of closure.
Was it hard? Is it hard watching the scenes with him and Kristianna?
I haven't watched like the first season.
Okay.
Or the
And I,
second season.
I only watched a couple episodes of the second that came on as reruns. I watched it. I got into it last fall, so the last season where she left. But I guess no, it doesn't. It's all like in the past, you know. I guess now I know like the behind the scenes stuff, you know. What could,
I have a hard time watching it.
what could be real? What could, I guess I don't sit and watch reruns. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
can
it
imagine
doesn't-
that's hard.
yeah.
You said it's hard, John. Why is that? Like, what about it is hard for you? Is it
Just
reliving it?
looking back, I'm a convict myself. So looking back, I should have noticed the red flags and I should have got out a long time ago.
I see.
And
So just
and
seeing the mistakes you made, yeah.
right, seeing it, going, the fuck were you thinking? you should know better than that. You're a fucking dumbass. And you know, that's the way it was, you know. And I should have seen the signs, I should have left. But I'm a fixer. I thought I could fix her and things would be good. You know, I mean, I took her mom in, I took her sister in, I took her son in at one point. I mean, I had, you know, her niece was living there at one. I mean, I had everybody living there, and I was supporting everybody because not a single person had any money.
Wow.
You know, I supported the entire family and her while she was in prison, while I was supporting the family.
Oh, wow. So you said, Crystal, the past is in the past. John, your past. How many times have you been married?
2 to my first wife. One that wasn't legal because I was on the run from the cops, and then one more time.
Okay.
So
So
and there's
sort
a
of
big misconception.
twice. Yeah.
You know, I
sounds
do
like it.
have, you know, I do have a lot of kids, but
How many kids?
I have 8 children.
Oh, mhm.
And there was a big thing on the internet about how, you know, they were all these different baby mamas and blah, blah, blah. No, my kids are from my first wife. We were together for over 20 years.
Oh,
So, you know, there was not a lot of, you know, me having
Wow.
kids with all these different people.
she's awesome. To give birth to 8 children.
And you married her
No,
twice? Is
she-
that the one that you married twice?
Yeah.
Okay. And she married him twice, Brianna. So, and she gave him all these kids.
She's a saint.
No, she's not.
I'm just joking. Wow. So it sounded like had some secret news that you wanted to share. What's going on with you two?
Well, some of that I already gave you with the infidelity and
Yeah.
all those.
Because there's a lot of things out there where, like, when we try and do live videos, a lot of people are like, he cheated on her first, he whatever. And it's, and
I
then
don't
the
believe
internet
that
is
he
just the
cheated,
internet.
by the way.
No,
Like
internet is
emotional
just the
cheating's
internet.
not cheating. I'm sorry.
No, and there's a lot of things when it comes to even that people don't know.
Yeah.
And so it's,
Like what?
That's all
You
part
know
of the
better
show
than
stuff.
that. Come on.
No,
now.
I gotta try. John, I have to try.
I get you. I definitely get it. But you know, there was definitely a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and I won't say anything bad about the show because as much of a pain in the ass as the show was to me, and you know, I love you, Alan, I really do, but you're a pain in my ass. Anyway, you know, the show does do some good things if you let it. And perception is definitely reality in this case, right? People will come on like Harry and whoever else. They'll come on and they'll say, well, the show did this, or they made us do this, or this wasn't real, or blah, blah, blah. But if you really look at it, especially from the perspective of a cast member, the show is outside looking in, right? You as a person that's being on the show, you might see it one way and everyone else will see what's actually going on. So you don't want to look like a dumbass. So you're telling everybody that everything's fake, right? Which isn't always the case. And, you know, I mean, Alan, as much as he drives me crazy, you know, he's very smart and he will push you to the brink of craziness.
Is he a producer?
He's the head guy.
Oh, I see.
He is the guy.
Right. Well, you knew what you were signing up for, right? People always say that. You probably knew that you were going to have to. I mean, we know one thing. We've interviewed tons of reality casts, not just from Love After Lockup. And I hear two things. One, they often make you reenact scenes.
Yeah.
So something that really, like, I don't think that this is a secret. So are you saying that he made you do that a lot, or that he just puts you in situations that are pretty, they're definitely aimed for drama?
Yeah, he definitely puts you in situations that are aimed for drama, but they're already situations that you're in.
Okay.
He just wants to get it on film.
Got it. Fair enough.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, if they're on their way out to film you and something crazy happens and they miss it, they're going to put you right back in that position and say, hey, show us what just happened.
I see. Yeah.
It's real.
Sense.
It happened. They just don't always get to it the second it's going down.
Perfect. Yeah, I get it.
But
that's a really good way of explaining it. Yeah.
But it's still so real that you can still capture those emotions from that. Because the emotions that I had in the show, none of those were fake. You can't fake that shit.
Right.
I don't care who you are. You're not faking some of that stuff. You can tell the ones that are faking what they're doing.
Yeah. And that was the second thing that I've heard from reality TV people, that I think it was Courtney from Below Deck said to us, they can't, like, if the words didn't come out of your mouth, they couldn't film it. Like, you literally said that. Things can be taken out of context. Things can be moved around in time. I do the editing for this, so I know. But like, if you didn't say it, it wouldn't be a thing. So
right,
something about it is real.
Exactly. And you know, that's just, I mean, reality TV it's hard.
Yeah.
It really is. You know, when I first agreed to do it, I was all excited. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so freaking cool. This is gonna no. I was lying to myself. No.
Do you regret it?
No, I have no regrets about doing it. I have no regrets about Kristianna. You know, I did what I did. And, you know, if I wouldn't have done it, you know, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of negativity that came with that led to a lot of positive. Like, I lost my house because of the things that happened while Kristianna was around. I lost some of my vehicles. DHS was called on my household twice because she was using. So I had to contend with that. And I work in social services. So one founded report and my career's over.
Right.
You know.
What is it that you do for a living?
I work in a crisis center, and I also work for mobile crisis. I'm a sexual assault advocate, and I also work for the Department of Wisconsin's doing Native American ceremonies.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So I've worked in like juvenile mental health, stuff like that. So, you know, DHS showed up at my house at like 9 o'clock at night one night, and they're like, hey, John, and I know the guy. I lived in a small town. I knew the guy. He's like, John, we got to talk. I'm like, shit. So they call us outside and we're talking. They're interviewing the kids. The kids are snitching on Kristianna. They're like, because she had a medical card for marijuana. And like I said, I don't give a shit about marijuana. Legalize it everywhere. I don't care. You know, just the taxes alone could bail out every single state in the country. You know, just I don't smoke it myself and I don't drink, but I don't have anything against anyone that smokes it, because that's, you know, nobody's knocking over liquor stores to get a joint. You know what I mean? So, but Kristianna didn't want to follow the rules when it came to the card. You know, she would take it with her when she's in the car. And in Iowa, you can only get 3 forms: a cream, the cart, or pills. Right. But if you take any of those out of your house, it's a felony.
A felony?
Oh, yeah.
Not even a misdemeanor?
No,
That's
it's a felony.
crazy.
Yeah, it's a felony, because it's basically considered misuse of prescription medication or whatever it is. Because
so, like, making a misdemeanor or something, I don't know. It's been
you know,
legal here for a long time in California, so this is
right.
this is hard for me to understand.
and I've bought stuff out in California, and I've brought it back to Iowa for friends of mine that have you know, like fibromyalgia and stuff like that, and I brought it back here, so I don't have an issue with it. But when you're dealing with, you know, especially with kids and whatnot, I mean, you know, there was some other stuff that was found out during the DHS investigation that, you know, could have gotten the kids removed. And the only reason they weren't removed is because of me, and because of the fact that I chose not to let her come back to the house, because I'm not losing my kids for not nobody. That's just no, fuck you. I'm not. No, I've had full 100% custody of my kids since 2013, and I'm not losing them for someone I've known for 2 years.
All of them? You have custody of sole custody of all 8 children?
Of the 4 youngest, the other ones,
they're
older,
grown, right? You've got grown.
yeah. Three of them are grown, and I still have my autistic daughter at home. So, you know, I'm a full-time dad. I work full-time. I work part-time. You know, and I do all the things I need to do. You know,
Crystal, do you have kids?
I do have kids.
Can I ask you how many, and if they're living at home?
One of my sons are 19, and so he is out of the house. He's been on like one of our lives.
Yeah.
And then I have 2 more still at home.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah.
Oh, cool.
You guys must like kids.
No.
I like children.
Okay, I do. All right.
Do
fine.
ya? There's
No.
stuff that comes out of your mouth that I would think you really don't like kids half the time.
That's not true.
You would have to have 8. I don't believe her.
No,
So what
it's
are the biggest misconceptions people have about you, John?
You know, for the longest time, everybody questioned my ethnic heritage. Even when I showed them proof, they're like, "Oh, this guy's not Indian," blah blah. And I don't even care about that
We have
anymore.
cleared that up. We saw your ID, your
Exactly.
card carrying membership.
One of the biggest ones, and this is my fault, because I said it as a joke on the very first season when I said that I had cheated on everyone I've ever been with, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I did say that. But you know, people took that and ran with it, and it wasn't exactly how I meant it. You know, my first wife, me and her were together 20 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there were affairs on both sides, because I mean, we weren't happy. We stayed together for the kids, you know. So there was things going on both sides, which is whatever. And then I went to, you know, my next marriage, but we were already separated and in separate households before I slept with someone else. So I was trying to be a smart ass when I said that, and it came off a lot worse than it might have been.
Yeah, you man whore.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly.
I said that too.
Then we got John over there. He is a fucking whore. I'm like, God damn it. I'm
Man
like,
whore.
shit. Man whore.
Man whore.
Yeah.
That's going to be the headline for this episode. John,
Absolutely.
man whore.
But I never did cheat on I never cheated on Kristianna. Never even thought about it.
And Crystal,
Haven't
so
seen-
far so good.
So far, so good. Don't have any plans on things going in that direction. I mean,
We've had the Lorena Bobbitt story, conversation already.
yeah, we have had that.
Ooh. Well, Mary, do you have any last questions for these lovely people?
No, I think we pretty much
You
covered
have not
everything.
said one word
no,
this
No,
entire
I've
What is
just
time.
been
going
sitting
on with
here
her?
listening intently. Listening intently.
Well, I do all the hard work.
Yeah,
know.
see,
No, I get all the
And while she's
criticism
drunk.
later. Like, why'd you ask those dumb questions? How come you look like that? Why'd you say that? And they'll just be like, Mary just sat there. Mm.
Then
I'm
I'm,
gonna
too
go and
quiet.
comment on
I'll
this
get
video and
criticism for
talk.
being
Okay,
too quiet.
before I let you go, John, give me the secret of not giving a flying fuck what people think about you, because I think we're struggling this week. We've had a lot of controversy over our interviews with Harry and Tia Nicole
Right.
and Deontay. We're taking a lot of heat here. What's the secret?
Here's kind of the deal, right? I mean, you have a job to do. You interview people, right? Eh, Who gives a shit what they say, right? This is for entertainment
That's my whole
purposes.
point.
Yeah, this is for entertainment purposes only. If tomorrow's headline on Starcasm is John pees in the shower, okay, I pee in the shower,
might.
so what?
I might care.
I don't give a fuck if someone knows I pee on the shower. I'm freaking 29 years old. Right? Okay, I'm 40.
If you want the truth, just message me.
I'm 49 years old, and I want to be the little old man that rides his riding lawnmower up to the gas station and
Naked.
half naked,
Naked.
and people are just like, oh, that's just John, it's fine, he's whatever. And all the fans have their own opinions of who I am, and I value everybody's opinion. Everybody can have one, right? But I'm a genuine guy. I go to work every day. I support my kids. I do what I need to do to be a productive member of society, which is what everybody in the world should strive to do. And the only reason people have negative comments to say is because I was on a TV show.
Right.
And when we became public on Facebook and put it all out there, like he said, there was a lot of good responses, but there was a couple that I'm like, holy shit. And I had a wise woman tell me that night, one, don't ever read the comments. Took me a long time to learn that one, but don't ever read the comments.
I'm working on that one right now.
Oh my God. Yeah. And honestly, I'm probably going to go back. I'm going to see this and start reading comments.
Here I was looking at you like a role model for a second.
I mean, we're all human. And so we don't,
Right. Yeah.
whatever. But I have realized, and he did a TikTok video because today, again, introducing me because people, just don't get him and Kristianna have split yet. And I get that. But there was some awful comments that were put on this video where I ended it like early, and I'm like, looked at him and I'm like, seriously, this is bullshit. Like bullshit.
Yeah. Well, with those wise words, I think we're gonna have to go, because you
Ooh.
guys have been lovely and so forthcoming, and I appreciate it.
Oh,
Mary
absolutely.
can speak. I just want you to know
Yes,
that.
no, I can't speak.
I know, because I saw her. I saw you guys like with I'm a huge Deontay fan.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
okay.
when he posted the videos, that's how I saw you guys.
Oh,
And
well, I
then
hope
I-
you
then I
watch
went and watched-
again.
I went and watched Harry's video, and I messaged him like, watch these guys on YouTube. I'm like, holy
Aw.
shit. Like,
Oh,
Thank you so much. Hey, maybe we do have a fan after all.
Yes, it
That's
looks like we
awesome.
do have a fan.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you so much, and hope we can stay in
Absolutely.
touch. Have a great rest of your evening, and we'll ping you when this is coming out. Bye.
All right,
Thanks.
perfect. Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.